STAKK Nation, welcome back to the channel.
Champions.
That's right. Today, we're going to be talking about the levels of poverty which we are encountering in our lives. And this poverty is not really a poverty due to laziness.
No, not this one.
Right? There's a certain point in time where the math is no longer mathing. Okay.
It's not making sense.
It's no longer making sense.
Algebra has become chemistry.
It is called mathematical war. Arithmetic war against your financial future.
Against your soul.
But you see, we have a reaction video yesterday. We're going to be reacting to a video here today. And it's very interesting because one thing that is unique at this point in time, which we've been seeing, is more and more people on the internet pointing out the simple fact that this is not working out.
The reality.
The same people that probably never paid any attention to Bitcoin or the definition of money, taking a deep dive into understanding what money is and how they can leverage money to secure their own financial future. This is what we all talk about. I mean, every human being who has aspirations to be better than they were yesterday, right, has a desire to accumulate value, resources, so that they can essentially improve or work towards those outcomes.
Use it at a later time.
Yes.
And still have it there.
Exactly. But we're now in a point where it seems, I mean, we already know right now there's a whole generation of people that buying a house is out of their reach, right? And it's not just a generation. There are people who have a house and they've been rolled back into the point of not being able to afford a house anymore. So what will it take for people to go, hey, since this is not working, maybe we need to look into an alternative monetary system or an alternative way of preserving that value? Is this what it's going to take? Right? We've made some videos in the past where we spoke about maybe Americans need to feel the pinch before they'll be able to respond to this thing. Let's watch the video.
Before we do though,
yeah, go ahead.
I think Americans are starting to feel the pinch. And it helps the global community when we have, sorry to say, a white lady with some green or blue eyes talking about it.
Oh, snap.
Facts.
Hey, I mean, listen, there's a certain range of people on Earth that get a stronger response.
Hey, it always helps.
It's like when... Let me not go into it. Let's just watch the video. Let's just watch the
Don't
video.
go too deep on that topic. Just leave it as is.
We'll just leave it as it is, man. Let's roll the clip.
Okay, so I'm just checking. We're all unable to buy a house right now, right? Like,
yes.
I'm not the only one who runs the numbers every single day and looks at the budget and is just like, there is no way on earth that this is potentially feasible for me. Like, I'm working with two very average incomes. They're not great incomes, but they're fine incomes. Incomes that 10 years ago probably would have meant that we could buy a house. I digress. Anyway, we pay rent so that we can live somewhere, because when we got out of college, we had to rent so we could theoretically save money to eventually buy a home. Except rent is so astronomical that we are actually not able to save for a home. Even still though, like, we don't pay as much in rent as I know other people do. We don't live in a huge city. It's somewhat affordable, even though I still think it's ridiculous. Compared to other people, it's still affordable. Okay, so subtracting that from what we bring home a month, like, yeah, there's still some money left. Except that somehow, no matter what I do, because we've cut back on everything, we've cut back on groceries, eating out, we haven't actually traveled in a while. I have a freaking coffee machine at home, so I don't buy coffee out of the house. We both work from home, so we shouldn't be paying.
Starbucks is losing money in that one.
Starbucks must be crying right now.
No, actually, have you seen the Starbucks stocks? Going down.
Is it?
It's going down.
Well, listen, man. I don't think
expendable funds are going down the water, man.
I don't think Starbucks is a fan of this economy.
Nope.
Their athletes cannot make it to them.
Nope.
Anyhow.
That much for gas, but yet somehow we are. I'm going through my credit card statement at the end of every month and I'm literally spending $20 here and there. Like, there are no big purchases on this credit card, but the groceries are killing us. But we also have to eat. We can't not eat. We need to put gas in the car because sometimes we do have to go places, but like, I can't figure out.
She said something about it's just $20 here, $20 there, but you see that the thing is adding up.
Interest rates are up to 29%.
Yeah.
Somebody had 36% on their interest rate, and I was like, "How are you surviving?"
It's called death by 1,000 cuts.
Grocery stores, man. I'm still saying two dozen eggs, $9, and you're saying inflation is going down. Who's lying to who? The last time I went to the gas station, gas is still expensive, double what I was paying last year.
Exactly. So I think we all agree as a society that it's not working out, right? I mean that's pretty much it. I don't know if we need to finish the rest of it.
Figure out where this is coming from. Like, we're not huge shoppers. We eat at home most of the time. Compared to other people my age, we do not spend money on alcohol or drugs. I don't freaking Uber Eats or Grubhub or anything. And I don't want to sound ungrateful because at the end of the month we are able to save something. Right?
It sounds like the walls are caving in.
Uber Eats and Grubhub. Look at the stocks. Those guys are gonna feel the hit too.
The walls are caving in.
Right? But it's not nearly enough to save up for a down payment on a freaking house. And if we did decide to go that route, it would take us, I calculated it, like 12 years of just doing absolutely nothing with our lives, like just staying at home, doing nothing. And I'm not willing to spend the next 12 years completely restricting myself for the dream, the possibility of a dream of getting to buy a home. Like, these are the best years of my life. I want to live them.
You know what's funny? Okay. You want to ask those that have a house with the taxes going up.
What would people with a house say here?
We still fucked as well.
Listen.
Those of us with a house are still effed big time.
Everybody's getting wrecked. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Go ahead.
The house value went up. You increase the taxes by $7,000 to $10,000. The house value start going down. You cannot exit out of the house. You can't put money out of the house because of the high interest rates. So you get screwed with the house. Even house maintenance, the insurance of the house has gone up. Everything that you need to do to maintain and fix your house has gone up. You're not winning either way.
In other words, this is a financial war, and there is nowhere to hide. At least, so it seems. Okay? At the beginning of the video here, I said we have spoken about Americans need to feel the pinch before they can make a move, and maybe to get to start understanding Bitcoin
and money.
But before we even dive into that, there's one thing she said there towards the end that I want to touch on before we move forward here. This concept, right? She said, she looked at it and it means we're going to have to just be grinding, straight work, I say slavery, for the next 12 years in order to be able to buy a house. Mind you, it's straight grinding for 12 years to buy a house just to then make payments on it, which does not belong to you. And depending on what happens financially or economically at that point in time, you could still lose the house.
Boom.
I think that a market or let's say a merchant, the seller only has power as long as you believe that what they have is of that level of value to you.
Yep.
If you're not demanding the things that they want, or if you have that ability to hold out, delay
gratification,
the gratification, or even more, did you know that the world is a massive, massive, massive place? Because, and I've been saying this a couple times now, if our parents, right, maybe I'm talking just a foreigner here, but if our parents or if people across the world at some point in time were dealing with something in their country that was so unsatisfactory to them that they picked up their whole lives and moved to the US for a better opportunity, I think that it should follow that if the opportunities that you came to look for, or the goals or the vision, the dream that we came to look for in the United States, if that no longer exists here, it is time to go find it where it's at.
Does that explain why a lot of Americans are moving out of the country to other countries?
Well,
is that why the banks are scared of bank runs and the government are scared of the US dollar leaving the country because it's getting so bad? Exactly. People are looking for alternative solutions outside of America?
Listen, at the same time, there are people who were born in this country who have never left this country. There are people who live in this country who carry themselves like gods, like anywhere else is garbage, right?
Shit else.
Yeah, and I think that's a difficulty because I think the rest of the world cannot be garbage forever.
True.
Okay, they're not sleeping. I'm pretty sure they've been improving as well.
Mm.
So I think that is something that we also have to consider, and this is why I point this out, because if the seller, if the seller's product is no longer highly desired,
Mm.
they are forced to pivot,
You have to.
change their plan.
Yep.
Otherwise, you'll be selling to no one, and that equals to loss,
Bankruptcies.
loss, and more losses. And I will tell you this: if no one is buying from Starbucks anymore, Starbucks will not just keep existing just because it's Starbucks. You understand? So those people will probably have to apply some pressure to the same people that they, what do they call it, lobby
Mm.
to push things in their direction,
Mm.
to move it back the other way.
As a matter of fact, Starbucks is now pivoting, having you buy the bags so that you can make your Starbucks at home.
Right. As a society, our solution should never ever be to beg or cower to this group of people that we put in place and give our tax dollars to just manage a few things, and they're failing at it. We have the option to check out. Okay? Some people are not going to want to leave the country, but this is also where Bitcoin comes in.
There you go. Tell them.
And the big question now becomes, is this sort of environment what is going to take for people to wake up and consider that Bitcoin is ultimately, these people will come to realize that everything is going to lead to Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is what it takes, then for people to start questioning finances, questioning what money is, because before now, most people, you talk to them about Bitcoin, they don't care because they're probably making money. Inflation was maybe not so bad at the time. And so they will never consider it.
They kept it under 2% so that you won't see it.
Exactly. So they will never consider it. However, it's here, it's in your face, right? You can clearly see that you've done everything that you were supposed to. You're making the money that would be considered decent. Yet, everything that you're supposed to be able to achieve now at this level has been taken away from you.
You can feel the burn.
Right in your chest. Okay? If this is what it takes, I guess, I think as more and more people get to this realization, maybe this will bring about that Bitcoin lightning moment for them, or that Bitcoin light bulb moment, rather, for them, where they realize that, hey, if I put my funds here instead, I peacefully opt out of the extortion that is happening to all of us right now.
Keyword, peacefully.
Yeah, it's peaceful, man. Because of course, in this country as well, it's like people act like you have to take a side on everything, otherwise you're violently against someone. Nobody has any violence against anyone. Okay, nobody's speaking against any
We just
government
want a
entity
better
and
life.
so on and so forth.
Just
Okay,
better life. That's all.
but yes, exactly. But the math of it is not, it does not matter if you're a government entity or whatever the heck else. Okay, if you guys decide to conspire to screw over everyone, okay, and there's a bunch of people who are just out here singing your praises, then hey, it's fine. Choose to be idiots, but the math is not mathing.
Yep.
Okay, and people would just like to peacefully seek alternative methods.
We seek to solve the problem by electing people or trying to elect the right people, but it seems like each and every time we attempt to fix it, they either get ghosted or they never make it into office. Or if they make it into office, they only make it to the office because they want them there, and the madness continues.
Yeah.
You know what? There was a book that I read a while back. It says, "Who Moved My Cheese?" Right? And I still use that book almost a decade later.
Right.
Your cheese is gone, my friend. Or it's being moved, or it's getting destroyed. If you want to survive, you need to seek alternatives. You need to look elsewhere.
Protect your cheese.
And your cheese is something that you and I wake up every day, every morning, to go to that 9-to-5 job to accumulate or to get. Or that job is that cheese.
Yeah.
If that cheese is gone, do you still, they fire you at the job, do you still go back to the job? No, you got to go somewhere else and look for the job. Same thing with money.
Yeah.
We've tried to fix money over and over again. It's gone. You need to be able to make money and store that money so that it can have value for the future, so that you can buy a house, pay for your kids' college, travel the world, eat. And that is getting destroyed on a daily basis. And we'll say we can't fix it. We've tried to fix it. We've come up with an alternative solution. It's Bitcoin, and people have found out it's working. It beats inflation every single time. As a matter of fact, it beats gold. We have a video coming up on that.
Yes, we're definitely going to be taking a look at the performance of what is supposed to be the safest assets lined up next to Bitcoin.
Imagine you're safe, you go to retirement and you put your money in bonds. Bonds get destroyed as well. You cannot, now you can't retire. You've been responsible all your life. You're trying to retire and now you can't even retire. Madness.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about some madness. The fact that you have not subscribed to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Like the video as well. In fact, if your madness is on a level as we're thinking it is, you'll probably join us over on X as well, formerly known as Twitter. Okay. We are, what is our handle there? STAKK Fin over there on X, STAKK here on YouTube, and of course on Spotify, STAKK. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments down below what are your thoughts on this situation. Do you think this is going to push more people into Bitcoin? Alright. Until next time.